Alright, well, welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. I decided to get back to work on the CUDA here. I walked away from it for a couple days. Decided to just step away from this one since it's frustrating me. I believe the distributor we have is it's an MSD Pro Billet, unbranded because it's sold for packaging by another company. I'm just going to go through and double check everything that I've got on it. So right now I have the points distributor in it and wired, and I'll show you that I can verify everything with that. Then I'm going to put the MSD distributor back in it, verify my programming. It is a magnetic distributor, so we're going to set up the ACES system with magnetic pickup, 12 volt. Basically you have to bypass the ballast resistor if you're using that feed, or you run its own power to the distributor, which I may actually set it up as a relayed power from battery, just so that I know I have a good 12 volt going to it. And then if I'm still not picking up my magnetic distributor, I'm going to change the magnetic pickup out. I have a brand new one, so I can tear the distributor apart and switch it out and see if I still have a problem. And then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So let's verify our power at the coil. I got to turn my battery on in the trunk. Just a second. Oh, Billy. So Chrysler and their upside down keys. So key on, what do I got going on? I bet my battery's dead. Alright, so my key's off, so I don't have my power to my coil yet. I have my ECU powered with 12 volts. Key on, I'll have my resistance voltage there. Like I said, I just want to go through and double check some stuff. Make sure I didn't do something wrong. So key on. Should give us our power to our coil. Ooh, gosh. Thought that was a completely different type of noise. Made me jump. So we are 6 volts from our ballast resistor, 12 volts key on power. Don't have anything in our fan. So cranking. We have our RPM light, our fuel pump light. We've got power to our PCM because I have it hot wired, and we've got RPM signal. Now that's on point. So if I had the wires hooked up, I would be getting spark, and I would be getting my reference. I would be getting fuel injection firing. So let's put our old distributor back in it with 12 volts and see what we see. Which my orange wire is my feed to my distributor. I'm going to put a bullet on it, female side. I'm going to put my power wire right back into my hot lug and bypass my ballast resistor so that I'm a full 12 volts to this lug. grab my bullet and fix that. I think I've got enough line there to make that work. So I'm going to drop our MSD Pro billet unbranded distributor down in here that came with the ATK engine. I gotta make some clips and whatnot, and I don't want to drop anything down into the engine. Oh, come on, find your home. You can only go in one of two ways. There it is. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm pretty sure I had it all the way down in there. Let's put our hold down on there. Alright, so it looks like my battery died while I was doing what I was doing. So I have I don't know what got videoed and what didn't. But I dropped my distributor in. My distributor is engaged, so it's going to rotate with the engine. My 3-pin connector is hooked back up. I've verified my ground to the body of the distributor. So my ground from the chassis to the distributor is valid. I put my new bullet point here so I can disconnect. This is my lead into the ACES EFI system for Spark. This is my ACES EFI power key on. This is my key on source, which comes from the ballast resistor over there, which I bypassed, so that I should have 12 volts here. We'll verify that. And actually we can verify that off of the handheld, because when I key this on, it should show me 12 volts, although it might be showing me 12 volts from its supplied power, not its key on power. So we'll verify key on power out here. So now key on, ECU lights up, fuel pump relay kicks, primes, shuts off, handheld comes up, 12 volts. We need to change in that to magnetic pickup. But our key on reference here is full battery power, which is a little weak at 11.9, but I'll take that as 12 volts. So that's my 12 volt to my ECU kicking on, 12 volts from my ignition key, and 12 volts to the distributor through this guy, which should, red wires in the center, and we got 12 volts to our connector. So then the other question would be whether it's getting power through the connector, which isn't something I'm going to test yet. So we'll connect this guy back together. Make sure he engages. Snap. And then let's change our data on our ECU. ACES system, go into our wizards, start wizard, kill shot, mild cam, no choices for wideband O2, it reads the ones that it reads. I'm going to switch from points to back to magnetic. Coil would be like a Hall effect sensor, and then CD ignition box would obviously be a CD ignition box. 4 injectors, 100 pound per hour, 360, hot idle 730. Looks good. Are you sure you want to save the setting? Yes. Key off, okay. 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's probably 5 seconds. Key on. While cranking with this distributor, no spark, no RPM. Alright, so I'm going to pull this distributor out and we're going to replace the magnetic pickup and we're going to see if it makes a difference. Alright, so I verified, again, that this distributor does not appear to be doing its job. Luckily for me, they sell these magnetic pickups. They're about 50 bucks. We've been waiting for 3 days to get a hold of ATK. And I kind of want to put this thing over on a chassis dyno and get it out of this bay because I have an Infinity QX80. I have to put a flywheel in. Which that's a whole nother story. We'll get to that later. But I need to get some production work rolling through here because contrary to what John thinks, this is not a storage facility. But we appreciate the comments. So, pull my dizzy out, and I have no idea which direction my dizzy goes now. Luckily for me, I have a 50-50 chance when I put it back in. I'll probably put it back in and then have to pull it out and switch it to 180 when I go to crank this thing and when I actually get it to work. So let's tear this dizzy down. Looks like I got a roll pin to get the shaft out, and then some Allens and some Phillips. So let's take a brand new distributor apart.
Mouse piss in it, but that's alright.
It'll be fine. Makes you stronger.
No, or sends you to the hospital.
Yeah, maybe. It'll be fine. Bearing lower. Shim through the center. Washer on top. That seems sloppy. Oh, it's got another bearing down in the center of the body. So it's got a bearing there and a bearing there. PCV escape. Things you didn't think you were going to be doing today.
This is ski season. Get out there and screw up your knee again.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to not mess my knee up another time. That's my goal for this year, is to not have another knee surgery.
Flywheel's here.
Hey! Right, that's too big. No, it is a 2.5. Cool. Uh-oh. I see other parts that can go bad. They're made to go together, they're not made to come apart. Well, the red wire goes to the ignition positive, the black wire goes to ground. The red wire goes, or orange wire goes to coil negative. What am I doing wrong? It's magnetic.
So it hasn't lost
It
magnetism?
hasn't lost its magneticness. Now I know why these distributors are $500. That makes me want to just use points, honestly. I feel like points are going to be more reliable. We've come full circle. All right. I don't think changing this pickup's going to change anything, dude, so... Hey Joe, how you doing today? Doing all right. Hey, this is Rich at Lucore Automotive. We spoke a couple days ago on a what is it, kill shot that I'm working on. I have a kill shot. Everything's functioning the way it needs to, except it's not reading spark signal from an MSD billet distributor. I swapped the distributor out for a points distributor, set the module up for points with all the data. Well, I just figured 99% of the time it's a technician installed problem. Figured I'd double check. So I'll use your volt main out from the connector harness to power my distributor lug. I'll disconnect the power from the bypass resistor block so that that's out of the picture. That way I've got my power supply from the PCM and then the coil negative coming back in through your gray wire. Okay, I'll do that. And if that doesn't work, I guess I'm going to go down and get another distributor and try that. So, thanks, man. Bye. All right. Change the 12 volt supply and see if it changes.
That one wire that's
so that, yeah, there's one wire out of the connector with the additional wires for fan relays and all that other stuff, and there's one 12 volt main,
right,
and that's a 12 volt out from the PCM or ECM, whatever you want to call it. Well, you'll have to excuse the workbench, but a simple 3-wire distributor that's ready to run, so to speak. This is an Oldsmobile one that I have for a project that's been sitting in purgatory much longer than anything else in this shop, but we'll get to it someday, hopefully, maybe, possibly. But we got our coil with our yellow wire to our, in this case, brown wire. We have our red wire, which is our hot, to our distributor. We have our ground wire from our distributor to our ground. We have our ignition output here. We have power into my hot side of my coil. It's literally that easy. Should have spark. And I do. When I rotate my distributor, I have spark. Now, my brand new distributor, which has the same wires. Yellow, which is coil side, positive to positive, negative to negative. And I have spark. Well, that's awkward. So that means it's a problem of something I have wired up. I'm second guessing myself on dumb stuff. I guess you can see that spark right there. Right there. That guy's good. We verified it. So something I did is incorrect. Or I'm doing something wrong, and I haven't figured out what that is yet. So let's put this back in the car. We're going to wire the power from the ECU power out. See if it makes a change. I don't think it will, because I've powered it with different powers, but it might. I don't know. Let's find out. Ease up, power's on. No RPM. So, something I have wired incorrectly. I don't know what it is. Nope. Works with a coil. What am I doing wrong, guys? The other system we have has been working great. I may go grab it some module just to see if I got something weird going on, but it's not likely that it's an ECU problem. Alright, so I've been fighting with this for a while, and I finally determined that I believe the ECM has a fault internally. It picks up a distributor signal, but it's not picking up a magnetic signal from the distributor. So we actually got a hold of ACES pretty quick. Their tech support's great. Spoke to Joe a couple times, and he's very knowledgeable, and I only waited a few minutes to get a hold of them. But they do take off for lunch, so if you call them or on lunch break, nobody's going to answer except for customer service, who's going to say, sorry, they're at lunch. But it is what it is. They got to eat. So we have a ECU on the way. We're going to get it switched out. I have a couple things to button up. I have to put the interior back together, and I have to put a kick down cable on it. I'm finishing up the throttle cable. So I'm going to work on those things while I'm waiting for the ECU to show up. So then that'll be the next step. I'm going to put in a different ECU, program it, see if it works, and then we're going to move forward, because that's what you do. We've got one system on the Alliston's AMX, and it works great. We really like it. As soon as I'm done with this thing, I'm pulling a Cadillac in here that I'm going to stick one of these systems on as well. I'm actually really excited to see that one go out and do some big smoky burnouts, because that's what we're building it for. So stay tuned. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and we'll see you on the next one.